Welcome everyone, this is Ike from Ike and Me. Today we're just doing a quick little video here about a two-city cluster with a warehouse in the middle, and you can see it. So rather than putting you through the agony of watching me build all this, I have it all built, and I'm just going to show you how I built it. So I have two cities here. They're pretty close by, Abilene, and then up here I have Lubbock, okay? So to start off, Lubbock had the brewery on the far left was already there. I didn't put that there, it was there. And then Abilene had meat, which are kind of your two main things you're going to find in most cities when they start, right? So one of the keys to doing a two-city cluster, or even if you went to a three-city one, is picking cities that don't use the exact same thing. So this one's has a brewery, this one has a meat industry, so they play off each other, right? So that's where you start with that. Then I put my warehouse right here, so I have it kind of in the middle of my two cities, or off to the side or whatnot. And then I have the first line I did, as you see on the left here from there, is going into the second line of Lubbock, and that's bringing materials in, all freight, no people, just freight, okay? And then the second line over right here, the one that I have highlighted, or this one, sorry, it's bringing freight into Abilene, straight in. You notice I double tracked everything. It's always better to double track and just use your switches like this. Now there's other ways of doing it, but this is the way I look personally. So then you can put, one of the benefits is if you have everything side to side, you can have a supply tower that feeds all of them at the same time. And so if we keep going up here, this is my main people express line. It has nothing to do with the warehouse. It's strictly people. You notice there's only two lines. It's basically the same line, I just doubled it. So it's only using one end of the terminal on each end. So see how we got tracks? It's only using one track here. Alright, now the other thing I want to point out is you'll see here, take Lubbock for example, they were the ones with the brewery, okay? So on this far left, if we just travel out, you see all my trains are already here. Okay, I'm coming out to get wheat. Now the reason I put that straight in instead of going through the warehouse is because it's feeding my industry, right? So I don't want the warehouse stuck in the middle of that. So it's feeding my industry straight up. It's bypassing the warehouse because the other town doesn't need wheat in the same amount that this one does, okay? Now they'll eventually need a bit of wheat, but not much. So now if we go here, we'll see this is from the warehouse. So I still haven't used this second one yet, right? It's still open. Now this one right here, that's going straight out of Lubbock, is going to, we'll just follow it down the progression here. Now it's a little bit far, but I wanted to pick things so I didn't have a bunch of spaghetti all over the place here. Alright, now you'll see out here I have my forest going, my wood, and I have it fully maximized. You'll see it's using every bit of wood I'm throwing at it. In fact, I may need to get more. And that's bringing wood in. You say, why would you do that? Why not run it by the warehouse? Well, the reason is because my city grew. Did I skip it there? No, I didn't. Okay. My city grew. So my second industry over here in the middle is sawmill. So I'm bringing wood straight into the sawmill, okay? So that's why that's there. So the next thing I'm going to have to do, because you probably noticed, I have a museum there to help me, but also distillery that was added later in the game. So at first I started with breweries, then the sawmill added in, then distilleries, okay? So now the distilleries, you can see in red, I need some fruits. And so I have them coming in off a different station. I plugged in a different station Chose to do it that way and leave this track open in case I need something else that applies to one of those two things. So if we follow at this station here, it's gonna go all the way over to, first off, there's my sugar for the distilleries fully maxed out. And then over here, like I said, it's a little far, but it's keeping things organized, is my fruits. Okay, I probably should put a few more trains on there. So the fruit and the sugar are using the same line, because let's face it, you can't put everything on the same line. I know that's a little ugly there, but I put this just slightly too close to the cotton. Couldn't double my lines straight up beside each other. Okay, so that's Lubbock. So just doing that alone has me at 141,000 and growing as we speak. If I go to my production, you see that I probably should get a little bit more wood. See, I'm a little low on the wood. I got tons of other things. Okay, right here is where it starts to get interesting. See, I got enough milk. I'm missing a bit of cloth. I'm missing a bit of vegetables. Definitely do not have enough fruit. I have to put more trains on there for my production. And then the clothes, the cheese, the paper, and then a few of these other random things down there. So I don't even have any of those hooked up. So there's quite a few zeros there. And even with that, I'm at now 144,000 and growing. Just from hooking up the main things. These main, I started with the ones that were there when you first showed up at the city. So if I just pick a random, let's just grab any old city here. Okay, we'll go over to El Paso. Just to give you an idea. Okay, so see, if I was going to do a cluster right here, I would start with the wheat. So there's 5 things showing up right now. The trick is to start to feed those 5 things. So they're going to need wheat, they're going to need corn, they're going to need wood, going to need meat, and then alcohol. Okay, so that's what that city needs, and each city is going to be slightly different. Although if you played this for any amount of time, or as you play it, you'll see that they do tend to be very similar. So now over here in Abilene, you see I'm a little low on the wheat. I need to bump that up a bit. But see, wheat, they don't use it for an industry, right? It's only just kind of their own personal needs. So my wood's kind of low 1 minute, high the next. And then my cotton is a little low, so I need to bring in another source of cotton. And one of the reasons for that is because I bumped up all my factories. You may have noticed it. I have them all maxed out. So see here, the reason I'm getting a lot of cloth is because I maxed it out, and then I maxed out the dress. I decided to put the cloth and the dress at the same place. I don't know, maybe that's not a good idea, but that's what I decided to do. So I've got my meat was already there, then my weaver, then my tailor, and then I threw a museum here. So that gives you an idea of why I did that. One of the reasons I did the museum is because if we go over here, I did it because it increases the satisfaction of citizens. So your fulfillment of demand is plus 10%. So it helped out with the fulfillment of demand. I was just setting this up. Okay, so now if we go over to the warehouse, we have, so I might need to change these, but I had sugar. Sugar had nothing to do with that distillery at first. I was just literally just bringing in sugar because it was one of the main things. Corn was one of the main things. So was wood, but at this point I'm bringing it straight into the city with the lumber mill. So that's why it's not sitting real high. We got lots of meat, we got lots of alcohol, and then we got milk. So all of these I need to bump up a little bit though, just to keep things going. You'll find as your cities grow, obviously they use more. So if we have one line feeding out here to get the corn. So we got that fully maxed out. We can't do anything more with that. So technically, I could probably look around for another corn. If there's there's one right here. So what would make sense is to put a station right there and just tack it on this line. So then it's literally bringing corn in straight up. Okay, so then another thing I got is my milk right here. It's coming in and piggybacking on this line, which is full of trains coming in. So that's a tough one because it's so close, right? This line going into the warehouse, I brought it way over here. It's bringing in both wood and milk. And they're both fully maxed out. See, that's bringing in 100 loads. The wood's maxed out at 220. So those trains are having a hard time keeping up. So in theory, I'd want to bring another wood load in. Now the problem is, I got my lines all full, right? This one's feeding to the city. This one here is coming out way over here to quite far to the sugar, bringing in sugar. So what I could do, because there's only one thing feeding off this, is I could look nearby. Surely there's a wood somewhere. Oh, there's two sugar right beside each other. Wow, that's weird. If I look around, there's got to be a wood somewhere here. Anyways, wherever there is one, I should probably feed it in there and then help set myself up better, because as you can see, this line here is pretty full because it's got the milk trying to jump off as best it can. See, milk's coming in on this line too, so this was just a backup over here. So then I have these guys coming in with cotton and wood off the same line. Then I got milk here, so really I can't do much more for that, right? That's kind of maxed out. And then here I also did a milk from here straight in over here. So that's a very busy line. Utilization is 158%, so you don't want it that high. That's not good. This one here is 44%. That's 71. I mean, you really can't get much above 100. This one's only 28. So this is the one I said I could probably tack more stuff on, right? This one's overloaded. So really, I should find a workaround from this, because it's bringing in two major things. So that's just an idea how to do two clusters like that. It's a matter of money, of course, but just doing that same idea over here, I'm at 136,000. Then just to see how much this grew in the last few minutes, I'm at 168. See, and you've seen me, I haven't changed anything. So I grew literally 20-some thousand, and I didn't change a thing. And that's without getting too deep into any of these things over here. So once you hook them up, you're going to grow no problem. So that's the idea. There's a little bit of twisting and turning right here. And there's a bit over here just because I'm trying to piggyback on lines. But that's not too bad, really. It could be a lot worse. And you notice how I have one station one side, one on the other. So you can only max out at 2 anyways. And then, sorry, I went the wrong way. Over here, because they have two industries that are feeding off each other, like the cotton is feeding into the cloth, which is then going to the dresses. I don't need to transport that anywhere. So because of that, I haven't even put down a second station there yet, and yet it's up to 136,000. So hopefully that helps. I'll just give you an overview there of what it kind of looks like. I mean, I'm sure you can make that look neater and whatnot, but it's not a whole lot of zigzagging, and it's all double tracked. There's not one part of that that's not double tracked. Sometimes I had to split the track to get around curbs or whatnot, but everything's double. There's nothing single. And there's one main line right here that I have only doing people and mail. You got to keep your freight off that. You could put another line that's just freight if you want to, from there to there. I mean, that's possible if you want to do that, but don't mix it with your people and mail, because then it won't be express. Because if we look at this, just our passenger statistics, see how it says Lubbock? There's 20 passengers going to Lubbock, and we got 93% of them are on the train. 15 mail, 91%. So I would assume if we go over to Lubbock, we're going to have a pretty similar number. I mean, 100's always better. See, this one here is, okay, Abilene's not first. It's down the third one, 95 and 89%. So we can maybe do a little bit better on that, but that's pretty high. If you put any kind of freight mixed in there, it's going to take too long. Right, so hopefully that helps you out, gives you an idea how to do things. And like, subscribe, comment. Always glad to hear a request.